I had a lot of people try to pull me out. I think the turning, like what my rock bottom was is, I came into recovery through death. My father of my children, he passed away, and I remember my kids having to go through life without the assistance of without any numbing or any drugs or alcohol or anything like that, and that was my wake-up call.
Hey folks, this is Thaddeus. I'm at the Flagler Voice Podcast Studio, and today we have on the Flagler County Drug Court Foundation. We have in studio Michael Feldbauer, who is the president of this organization, and we have Kim, and pronounce your last name for me again, Shatner.
Yes, like William Shatner.
Like William Shatner. That's cool. Any relation?
No, it's spelled different.
Okay. Well, Mike, he's going to tell us more about it, as well as Kim. And you guys have the ball. Tell us about what it is and take it from there, Mike.
Thank you, Thaddeus. We appreciate you having us on and helping us out today with our first podcast. We are going to do this on a regular basis. Let's see if I can get my ears to hold this thing up. No, here. I hope you recognize me without the hat, because we got to change up. Here we go. We're going to go from there. That'll stay more steady. Flagler County Drug Court Foundation was founded in 2009 by some local citizens and a couple members of the Flagler County Drug Court team. They looked at what was going on and helping people in the drug court program needed additional help that the court can't help them with. So they decided to form this organization to see what they can do to help the participants in the program, to take some of the weight off their shoulders so they can concentrate on their recovery. So that's the foundation. That was their basic mission, was to provide necessary resources and guidance to individuals in the Flagler County Drug Court program, empowering them to lead a healthy, fulfilling lives and become great members of our community. Since that period of time, we've grown. We have gotten more into education into our community, still doing what our primary purpose is, still helping the drug court participants in the program, but also reaching out into our community and help educating our community what's happening with substance abuse in Flagler County and how we can help people, all right? So we were the first nonprofit in our county to get a grant to give free Narcan away, which we've been doing since 2020. Our team, and you will meet one of our members later on in another broadcast that heads up our Narcan distribution program, have worked really hard and now has Narcan available in all the Flagler County schools. They're working currently on getting the Narcan on board all the Flagler County school buses and some other programs that we work in town. So that's what we do. We have a vision to community. We want the community to embrace and support individuals in recovery, promoting and understanding empathy, which is a big help in people's recovery. And Kim will probably talk more about that when we switch over. Together we want to be able to break down the stigma that people that have gotten into substance abuse, into the addiction part, to help them reduce that stigma so they can look at themselves as a positive person going forward, getting out of where they are. And that's pretty much what, who and what we are. Again, founded in 2009, so we are the oldest nonprofit in Flagler County dealing and helping people in recovery. We were also, until recently, the only nonprofit helping a county organization. We help the county drug court. So as an independent agency, nonprofit, our group is right now 100% volunteers. We help the drug court. So we're helping a program that the county has in effect. It's founded and funded by our county. And as a nonprofit, we help them doing what they need to do. So I'd now like Kim to introduce herself a little bit and talk a little bit about who she is and why she is, and then we'll get back to me later. I'm a little bit more boring.
So I got involved with the foundation in 2020, I believe. I was actually working at one of our local outpatient rehabs, and that job had ended. And Mr. Feldbauer hit me up and said I might have an opportunity for you. And honestly, that's where it started. I'm very, I've been in recovery since February 22nd, 2016. And I've met many people that have gone through the drug court system, and or even just, their addiction has got them within the court system or the judicial system or anything like that. So I was always, that was a lot of my story. I never went through drug court, but I definitely had a lot of court cases and convictions and in and out of jail and prison. So I was very passionate about it, knowing that, just because, you've been in active addiction or you have criminal convictions or even just charges that may get dismissed, like that doesn't have to define who you are and what the rest of your life has to look like. I know there's no such thing as, I don't know how to really verbalize it. Obviously, just like any other program, drug court is for people. It's not a get out of jail free card, and if people really want to change their lives, they can be very successful in the program. And sometimes they just need a little guidance to show what they're capable of. And when I also joined the drug court team, at that time, I think there was only one other recovering addict involved in it. It was mainly like judges and lawyers, probation, and me and this other female were the only ones that were in recovery. So I feel like even though I don't have the law degrees or the college degrees like the other people do, I have some experience and strength and hope that can help lead these, the people that are in the program. And I also was very much on board. I remember when I came to Palm Coast, I came from prison, and I remember telling my mom that, I really think I need to give meetings and go to 12-step program to try. And she said, this is a really good area, Palm Coast. I don't think that there's people or things like that there. And in the course of, since 2020 and joining the foundation and learning all this information, learning that Flagler County has one of the highest overdose rates in all of Florida, so and I think that part of us, our foundation where we teach education is like, I don't know, I can't really go on what my mom was saying. Maybe she was just, in her little bubble on her street, but I know that she's probably not the only one that thought that way. I meet people like that. Well, if people just don't do drugs, they won't get in trouble. Like, wow, I wish I would have thought of that.
Yeah.
Maybe if I don't, but like, there is hope out there. There are people who are like me, who felt the same way I felt, who have gotten in similar problems, in trouble with the law. I'm grateful for the trouble. It saved my life. It kept me, off the streets for that amount of time, that I wasn't out there like killing myself bag by bag, pill by pill, shot by shot, whatever, bottle by bottle. And I definitely use my experience to let other people know that, hey, we can have a better life than, what anyone else, what any judge or, family member or community member says about us. Like, we don't have to be defined about what we're going through right now.
That's a real important part of the overall program. What we're talking about when we talk about reducing stigma. If you tell somebody every time you see them, you're never going to succeed, you're always going to fail, you're always going to be this, you're always going to be, when that's all you hear, after a while, you begin to believe it, and you begin to live that life. So if you can turn that around and say, yes, you can, there is hope. We can show you hope. We can show you that you can become the person that you really want to be. I've only been involved with this for the last 12 years, and I have never, ever, ever met anyone who has been affected by substance abuse and addiction that wanted to be there. So it might have been a bad choice at one time. Who knows what led them to what it is. We also know scientifically now that more people get involved with it because of trauma in their life that they've not been able to deal with in some fashion. So again, when we look at what the Flagler County Drug Court stands for right now, we look at ourselves as if we were a beacon of hope and support for individuals navigating the challenges, a journey of recovery and from substance abuse. We want our community to be what people think about our community.
Right.
Okay? As Kim mentioned before, for a period of 4 years or so, we ranked between the 2nd and 10th highest overdose county in the state of all the 67 counties. It's based on population. So it's not what people think about who we are here in Flagler County. And I'm going to be quite blunt. Okay? It's not where the majority of the population thinks all this is happening. It's happening predominantly where the major population is in Flagler County. That's Palm Coast. It's where the majority of the money is. It's in Palm Coast. It's all over, but the majority of the overdoses and overdose deaths that take place in our county happen in that area. So we have to wake up, and it's not to complain. It's to say, okay, because there's other places all over the country that are suffering the same as we are.
Yes.
Okay? But we want to do something about it. And that takes community involvement. It takes people that have a heart, that care about getting this accomplishment done. And that's, the heart of our foundation is unwavering belief in the potential for the positive changes that can take place in people's lives. That's what we want to get across. What are we looking for? We want people to recognize that. We'd love to have you come volunteer with us if that's something that your heart is telling you to do. But the key is, when you see somebody that might be in trouble, we've got to find a way of helping them. If you don't know how to help, you can contact us. We'll guide you to wherever the best place is to get that kind of help. People won't get themselves fixed no matter what it is, whether it's addiction or anything else, unless they want it. Okay, so this isn't forcing something on people. The majority of people that are involved with substance abuse want to get fixed. They don't know how. They don't know where to reach. At one point in time, Flagler County had what we call a detox facility. People that were involved say, okay, I'm done. I need help. I got to get detoxed. And they could get in there. And then for some reason, the detox facility that was here got moved to Daytona. We don't have one here now. How do you, if you can't get into a detox facility sometime within hours of that decision, okay, you're going to cover the pain. And the only way you're going to cover the pain is using again. So as a community, we have to look at more ways of helping people and have more facilities available for those people who want the help.
I mean, we also have, family members that are a part of our team that have lost loved ones, lost children to addiction. And so, like, if you're in a position where, you're worried about someone you love and their addiction, and they aren't ready to get help, we can help you deal with that. We have, support from other family members. We can point you in the right direction to make you feel that you're not the only one that's going through this.
That's a very important part. And again, as we grow this podcast, we're going to be bringing a lot of those people in. You will meet somebody next week that has been there, done that, the same as what you just talked about. And that helps us all have a better understanding of what families are going through. And if we can help them, we can help them to the point they can then help those loved ones that they want to help. Okay, and it's not by just yelling and screaming. It's by giving them an understanding what the people are going through so they can grow into it. I mean, together we can break down those barriers, and that's what we need. We need to break down the barriers. We need to save lives. We need to help build future for those people that are involved, for their families, for helping them. It's a continuous process. And education, we have learned over the last several years, particularly since we got involved with the Narcan, education, education, education. It's not scare tactics. They don't work.
No.
Okay? It's educating people, both that have been there, done that, help them get into a situation where they can help more people. Family members, so they have a better understanding of what their family members are actually going through, that they're not looking at some, as I always say, some Hollywood movie in some back alley in New York, Chicago, LA, Dallas. No, it's right here in our community. And there isn't a neighborhood that isn't affected. You will learn in the coming weeks that one of the first overdose deaths that this county saw in a long time happened in a guarded, gated community. Okay, so it's all over. So we got to move the blinds, politely say, or get your head out of the sand. You all know what I'm thinking out there, I bet. And understand that we can do stuff. We can't just changing our attitudes and having an understanding of what people are going through is a tremendous help. Tremendous help.
So the audience is curious, what got you both super involved? And obviously you're very passionate. Kim, I saw you speaking last night at actually one of the meetings, and I see the passion that you have. But what experience is really leading you guys to have that passion? That's what I'm curious about in the audience, obviously.
For me, I know that in my addiction is a killer of everything, a killer of mind, body, spirit. It wants to alienate. It wanted to alienate me from everything and everyone I love. And it's just a very lonely, like full of despair place to be in life. And so for me to be able to reach one person and show them that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and give them just, enough hope to say, you know what, because I'm not anything special. Like, you're just your run-of-the-mill addict. I had some crazy experiences in childhood. I had crazy experiences, I call them crazy. Most people would call them traumatic. But I just don't, if my story and my experience can reach one person, then it was worth it. And that's where my passion comes from. I think that, I've lost too many friends and family members to addiction, and that's one too many. So that's where it comes. I don't want anyone to ever die. I don't want kids to miss their parents, because of addiction, or because they died due to their addiction, or because they're locked away for a very long time because of their addiction. That's where my passion comes from.
Yeah, I had a follow-up question to that. As I'm listening to you guys pour out your heart through this process, now, was someone there for you to help pull you out of that? Did you have that experience?
I had a lot of people try to pull me out. I think the turning, like what my rock bottom was, is, I came into recovery through death. My father of my children, he passed away, and I remember my kids having to go through life without the assistance of without any numbing or any drugs or alcohol or anything like that. And that was my wake-up call. And so when I did get out of prison and come back to Palm Coast, that first day, I wasn't even home 5 hours, and I went to a meeting that night, and I was surrounded by people who wanted to help me. So I can't say it was just one in particular person, but a whole fellowship of people.
That's beautiful.
My involvement is entirely different. So people say, how come you do what you did? Because you didn't come from there, or how do you accomplish what you did? Well, I got involved, say, about 12 years ago again with, for those in the community that know Pastor Charles Solano, who runs Grace Community Food Pantry and also an open door reentry and recovery ministry for people in recovery. I was volunteering at the food pantry, and Pastor had a desire to help people in recovery, and he was getting ready to open up the first recovery facility in Flagler County. First one was for men, and he got me on board to help him do that. I've got administrative stuff, so it wasn't for counseling purposes. At that point, it was just to help the administrative part to get open door reentry and recovery ministry done. That got me involved because all our first participants at that ministry came from drug court. Well, we found out, and it didn't take very long, because we had our own program that all our participants had to do, which was quite extensive. Drug court has a very extensive program for all the participants that have to do this, that, and everything else to get through the program. And so we found out in a very short time that we couldn't do the two together. So Pastor decided not to take people from the drug court program. He vetted them directly from jail and those people who wanted to come in. And the drug court asked me to stay on. And I got involved with that. If you'd asked me prior to that, if that was something I was going to do, I would have told you you're crazy. I mean, I did have, like, my best friend died as an overdose to alcohol. Mm-hmm. I had family members that had been involved in addiction. My own addiction was smoking. You don't even think about that. But it was tough giving that up. So you get a better understanding, but that's where it came from. And then it's become a calling on my life. I don't want to stop doing what I'm doing. I see the possibilities. I also say to people that once you get involved, and Kim will probably verify this too, you learn that what having a crazy life is, because one day everything is just beautiful. You see the great things that are happening. And the next day you get a phone call. Mm-hmm. And being involved with this in the last 12 years, I've seen several people that I've gotten close to pass away for overdoses that didn't make it for whatever reason. And that hits you. But my heart, I tell people, God has drawn me to it. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Wants to see more people helped. I don't know what else to say when it comes to that question.
Yeah, but that's beautiful. But the audience obviously wants to know, and so I had to interject there.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have the ball, but I had to know the passion that's there, and the audience had to as well. But yeah,
I can tell you that every person that sits with us in our group has a passion for it. Mm. They all have a heart to help people. There's no other reason to be part of our group. We don't get paid for it. Mm. You got to have the heart. And when people ask if they can help, that's the key question we want to ask them. Why? Do you have a heart to help people? Whatever it is. And if they truly have a heart, those are the people we want, because that's what drives us. Okay? It would be nice to have a lot of money, but that's not what drives us. Right?
Right.
We also, just one important thing, and I don't want to forget this, that there's a program in this all over the country, but the state of Florida is very serious about it, to they have certified peer recovery specialists. Those are people that have been there, done that, won the t-shirt, and they go through a rigorous program and they become certified by the state. Well, we help people do that. It's cost to take the classes and this and that. But if anybody has been there and wants to get certified, that means they can work in a hospital, they can work independently, they can volunteer, but they've got a program that they've developed to help people. And we will help them get that certification because our county needs it. Yep. So, where do we go from here? We just keep looking. As you sat in our monthly meeting last night, and you heard people bringing up different topics. And what are the concerns that we have? Kim brought up a concern because we just recently got back from the Florida Behavioral Health Conference in Orlando. And there was a big part of that conference was on the suicide problem that the state has. And Flagler County has a big suicide problem, okay? And where do those victims come from? A lot of it comes from people that are in substance abuse that have been just beat up. They say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I don't know what else to do. We have 13,000 veterans in our county. PTSD is a big part of the veteran community, and we know nationwide veterans are committing suicide at between 30 and 40 a day nationwide. So Kim is looking into how do we add suicide education and prevention into the things that we do. So we're constantly looking and seeing, are there things that would work with us, can help us in the world of prevention, in the world of education, that can work. So, anything else you want to add? He's giving us the...
Oh. I don't know. I just mainly want to say that people, even though you seem like you're alone, there are people like, Mr. Feldbauer and I who want to help you, want to point you in the right direction. If you're at like a brick wall and you just don't know which way to go, please, please, please reach out. And for their family members as well.
Yeah, tell the people the different ways that they can get involved to help you guys. I know there's the Club 100, is that right?
Yeah,
there's different other opportunities, so I'm going to pass the ball to you.
Okay. Obviously, we need funding to do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And our funding comes from a couple of fundraisers a year, from people that donate. We do okay, but we need more to do more. One of the things we came up with is called the Club 100. So we were looking for 100 local Flagler County businesses or individuals to commit to $120 a year. Well, there's $12,000. We can do an awful lot with $12,000. We do have fundraisers. In the spring, we have a golf tournament. In the fall, we have what we call Ride for Recovery, which is motorcycles, Jeeps, any kind of vehicles. We go out and they have a good time. We have that kind of stuff going on. So we need help in organizing those events. People that are, our golf tournament was super successful because we had a gentleman step up who's done it before and really helped us get organized. So it was the best we've ever had. The golf club told us it was the best tournament they've seen since 2019. So we're looking for people that are out there that can do those kinds of things, that want to help. If you feel that you want to learn about how to be a family member, to talk to people, we have people in our group that can help you do that. Fundraising is a big part. So any of our fundraising events, our next one is, our official one is November 2nd. It's our Ride for Recovery.
And if you just want to go out and have fun, our fundraisers are actually a lot of fun.
And that's the truth. If you want to come down and visit us, if it's not raining, we're every first Friday down at Flagler Beach. We got rained out this week, but we're down there. The team is there to talk to you. We're at a variety of events throughout the community that we participate in, to get education out. We'll be at the Fall Music Recovery Festival. It's, I think, September 21st down at Princess Place. We'll be at the Creekside Festival this year, again, to educate. And at those events, we also give out a lot of free Narcan. And we teach people how to use it. So those are the kinds of things that we need help with. Because it takes a lot of feet on the ground and a lot of feet behind the scenes. You'll see a few of us come through from the team. We might be the faces and voices, but we're backed up. We can't do it. It can't be just Kim and I. It takes more than that to do it. So we need people that have a heart to help.
And for those people that don't know, what is Narcan, very briefly, and how can they get in contact with you guys to get Narcan?
Narcan is it's just for opioid overdose. It reverses the effects of opioid overdose if administered in enough time. So you can't recover if you're dead. So that is so anywhere ranging from any type of pain pill with an opioid in it to heroin. And we've been noticing, fentanyl is in a lot of the street drugs, so it might take more than one, or actually it's been taking like 4 to 5 doses of Narcan, but it is a temporary fix to get someone to the hospital so they can be treated for an opioid overdose.
Yeah, and you guys give it away for free.
Yes.
Okay, you guys have a grant for it, you mentioned.
Yes, I mean, you can buy it on Amazon. I think it's $40.
$49.
$49.
When we first started the program, It was $175 to $200 a box,
Ooh.
and we were giving it away then. Then the feds then reclassified it as an over-the-counter drug, and the prices came down. But it's still expensive for somebody. And the Surgeon General of the state of Florida would love every family, whether they know people or not, to have Narcan available for them, because you never know. So we found it, and that gives us an opportunity to talk to a lot of people.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, guys, this has been Thaddeus at the Flagler Voice Podcast Studio, where Mike is his own show. This is the Flagler County Drug Court Foundation group. This is an organization, and they're going to be sharing more and more information with us, the audience, about really the issue that is present here in Flagler, drugs. You know, there's fentanyl, there's all kinds of different drugs, and we just don't think about it sometimes because we look at this town and it's somewhat of a sleepy town, but there's still an issue here. And so make sure you guys reach out to Kim, make sure you guys reach out to Mike to help with their mission, you know, be it donating or even just to get a box of Narcan so that we can keep those people that are loved ones in our lives from dying, because like Kim said, if a person dies, they have no chance of recovery. This has been Thaddeus at the Flagler Voice Podcast Studio, and we'll see you next time.